One of the coolest things about blockchain is that there's so much opportunity to innovate and make money in this space. We're seeing an explosion of financial-based applications or DeFi apps on top of the Ethereum platform right now. And one of the biggest reasons for this is that there's no red tape. You don't have to get anybody's permission to build a real-world finance app that can handle millions of dollars of transactions. As long as you can solve the problem and write the code, you can just launch it and start getting users. And now there's probably a lot of different people watching this channel for different reasons who want to get into blockchain. Some people want to become, blockchain developers as their job. Some people want to become freelancers. But then some people want to seize this big opportunity to build their own blockchain startup. And that last one, if you can pull it off, could make you millions in this space, a lot faster than getting a job or becoming a freelancer could. And a lot of people are thinking, where do I even start if I wanted to build my own blockchain business? So to help answer that question, I've invited on a special guest today, okay? I'm going to interview Jaco, who's the founder of DecentraVest, and he's built his own blockchain-based startup as a coder after discovering Dapp University. So for all of you that have aspirations to build your own blockchain-based startup, I'm really excited to share this interview with you today to show you what's possible and so that you can take notes from him. So before we get into that, if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step by step from start to finish, then I can show you how to do exactly that. Just head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. So I'm really excited to have Jaco on the channel here today. Jaco is a graduate of the Blockchain Bootcamp, and he has built his own real-world project that we're going to talk about today. But it all happened after he got, burned from a really elaborate Bitcoin scam. And that's really what I want to talk about first, Jaco. So, welcome, but let's hear a little bit about this story that drove you to creating this, real-world blockchain project.
Yeah. Thanks, Gregory. It's a long story, but it all kind of came together. Late last year, I started investing a bit of my money in Bitcoin and increased the portfolio, a little bit. And being the kind of noob investor that I am, I was kind of looking for places to put my money where it could grow a bit instead of just sitting in a cold wallet somewhere. So doing a bit of research, I found this AMFIX or AMFEIX, I don't know how you pronounce it, kind of investment club. And doing a little bit of research, they looked kind of legit, being the noob kind of person that I was at the time. And I tried it out with a bit of Bitcoin and it, investing, seeing it grow, withdrawing it. Okay, cool, it works. It looks legit. You can invest and you can withdraw and all that. And gradually started investing more and more, and it grew really wild, really well. Up until a couple of months ago, where they stopped the withdrawals, and it turned out that it's probably a scam. It's still going on. It's still open for investment, but it's closed for withdrawals. You don't know you don't know who these people are. It's operated by people you don't know. They say it's a smart contract-based thing. When you go and look at it, you can't actually see the details of the smart contract. You can't really follow the transactions. You don't even know if there's trading happening behind the scenes. Because what they do is they say they trade behind the scenes and then they give you a percentage of the profits. If they do, nobody knows. You can't actually see it.
Oh, so my gosh, man.
I think they got away with 6,500 Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh, that's like $60 million, something like that.
60 million, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, that's crazy.
It's a big take. It's still going on. People are still positive that they might get their money back. I'm not that positive. I think it's a lesson learned in transparency of systems, and I'm going to take this lesson, learn from it, and move on.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I mean, I definitely have gotten wrecked from a couple of crypto scams myself in the early days. I gave, some sort of automated bot money to trade, and it just wiped out the entire account.
Yeah. It's how you learn. That's how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's also a good thing for crypto is that it's not governed. There's no bureaucracy behind it. It's transparent, it's your keys, and that's the system. It's another level of infrastructure that's evolution on top of the financial system. And I think it's good.
Yeah. And you know, you and I talked a little bit before this video, and you mentioned that, you know, this bad experience actually was the impetus or the reason that you were going to create your own project. So I want to hear a little bit about that.
Two things about the system that really bug me. One is that it's a centralized investment system that's not transparent, so you can't actually see the trades happening. And the other thing is they probably trade on centralized trading platforms anyway.
And this is the program that you got burned by, or the business that you got burned by. It's all a black box. It's behind the curtains.
It's all a black box. You can't see what's happening.
Right.
So, and that's the centralized investment kind of thing, where it's if it's a legit investment company, there's a lot of bureaucracy behind it, and that's where a lot of your profit will go eventually, like banking, investment companies, SEC approved investment companies. A lot of your profit will go to these guys because it needs to be governed so tightly, and that's just the nature of finance 1.0. Finance 2.0 works potentially, if it's well done, it works on trustless kind of systems. We have transparency and controls and cryptographic security behind all these things. And I think that's the direction we should be going. But having gone through this kind of massive loss, because I did lose a substantial amount of Bitcoin,
right?
I thought, well, why not use this lesson and do something that I find personally is a principled approach in building infrastructure on in the blockchain, in the crypto space. And that's got to do, like I said, with two things: having a decentralized investment platform, and also working only with decentralized exchanges. Because centralized exchanges also trade against their customers, like BitMEX, Binance, all these kind of places. They do trade against their customers by stopping them out and earning the margin on their positions.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So tell me about this this project. What does it do?
It's very simple. It's not a trading platform as such. It's a marketplace for traders and investors to find each other. It works completely on a smart contract, but all the trades happen off the chain. The trades happen on DYDX. So the trader will trade on DYDX. They have an API available that I can inspect and make and get all the transactions and the positions for a trader. The investors can then find the best traders that match their needs. They can then invest their crypto at this stage in a personal multi-sig wallet, which the trader uses as collateral for losses only. So the trader at this stage in my platform does not actually trade with the investor's money. The investor's money sits safely in their own personal multi-sig wallet.
Right.
But the trader through the platform can recoup some of the losses from that wallet. Obviously, that will have a slight negative impact on their rating, because there's a rating for a trader as well, depending on their performance. But then, basically the investor will earn a percentage of the profits, the trader will earn the rest, and the platform earns a very, very tiny percentage just to keep costs going. Because I'm not looking to make money. Well, obviously looking to make a amount of money because I'm working full time on this thing. But the principle is that I think having some kind of a system where people can more easily and with lower thresholds potentially earn some money on crypto.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And so we're gonna get a test drive of this later. He's gonna share his screen. We're gonna talk about that. See, all this stuff kind of laid out there. But before we do that, there's something that I really want to talk about, which one of the reasons I think that blockchain is so cool is that it's just this open ecosystem that anyone can get involved in and build their own, financial products. And there's no red tape. You don't have to get permission from anybody. You can just create this stuff and put it out there. Yep. And that's what Jacko's done. And also, from what you told me earlier, like you based this project, you started off with the capstone project from the boot camp, and then took that and then turned it into this platform, which is really awesome. And to quite honestly, that was one of the original visions that I had for the capstone project inside the bootcamp in the first place. So if anybody's watching this video is not a part of it, basically what I teach you to do is to build a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange, an open cryptocurrency exchange on the blockchain. And my whole idea for it all along was to give you sort of like a final project that you could then turn into something else with like more features, more capabilities, all that kind of stuff. And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, that's exactly. So I've got 20 years development experience. I've been a CTO for the last 4 years before I quit that and started something by myself. Took a massive chance. But I don't think you need 20 years experience to get started with this.
Yeah, totally.
The good thing about your university, it's so approachable, so accessible, and to the point where you can start with something immediate. You get all the important info up front. There's no long, drawn out process of having to go through all the fundamental first. You actually have something working from the get-go, and which helps you learn the fundamental. Before I discovered your university, I mean, I went through a couple of months really, really digging through the Ethereum documentation, trying to figure it out, and it's incredibly difficult trying to figure out how that works, how to code a smart contract, how to make something work end to end, just from that documentation. So I think you went through the pain of doing that yourself, and you learned the hard way. And now you're sharing that knowledge, and that has really, really helped me getting this thing off the ground.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. That was one of my big ambitions from the get-go, is to basically create the learning resource I didn't have when I got started. Yeah. So I'm glad that you're able to use that. Well, cool, man. Well, tell you what, let's go ahead and get a test drive of this thing. I'm anxious to see it.
I hope there's no. I hope the bug genies and the bug fairies are.
That's right. Yeah, and so this is DecentraVest.
Yeah, it's basically the first 3 syllables of decentralized and the last syllable of invest. So DecentraVest.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the main website, DecentraVest.com, and it also takes you to the portal if you click on the portal here. But this is the live portal, and it's not yet updated, so you can join as a trader right now, and that's about it. But I'll show you my development environment.
Sure.
So I've got it all set up for joining as a trader. So I'm just gonna switch between a trader and an investor kind of thing. So you'll see me switch quite often between the two kind of users. And imagine me wearing a trader hat right now, because I've got this DecentraVest trader account, and I'm going to join the system right now as a trader. This is all really ugly. I still need to make this a bit prettier and everything. But you can only join the trader when you already have some trades on DYDX, because it'll stop you from joining if you don't on your account.
And the whole idea here is that you've used DYDX. So if anybody's watching this video doesn't understand, that's a Dapp. It's a blockchain-based DeFi app that allows you to trade. You can do like margin trading and stuff like that. So you had to have already executed some trades, and you can sign up for DecentraVest. And the whole idea is that you start to show people your reputation, right?
Exactly. So this is the Decentra or the DYDX trading platform. Right. And like you said, it's a decentralized trading platform. So you actually buy and sell instead of just earning the margin or trading on a margin. You actually do put collateral in as a trader. And that's the good thing about decentralized trading platforms. The centralized stuff, you earn a margin, but you can lose everything really quickly, and you can lose more than you have. Whereas this, you can also earn a margin, or you can also do leverage trading, but you still have to have collateral. It's a more honest way of trading, and I think this is why I went with it. But anyway, so I've joined as an investor now, and I can see my dashboard, and I can see I've got some trades here. This is all dummy data, by the way. This is not real data. You can see it kind of score here. This is the only, so this one has no trades. This is why the score is 0. Obviously, any score will be a 10 because it's the only trader in the system right now. But once there's more traders, the score will be a proportion score between all the traders.
Okay, so it's a weighted average.
A weighted average of all the traders. And it's a bit simplistic now. Eventually, I'll have a more robust trading scoring system. like a performance score, a reputation score, and even like a level kind of thing between traders to make it
very cool.
bit more robust. What you can do now is you can set your allocation. And what this means is, as a trader, you have a bag of tokens that you can trade with. In this case, you've got 100 ETH more or less in your wallet as a trader. So you can trade with 100 ETH. So I can say, well, you don't have to set it specifically. This is what you allow your investors to invest in you as a trader. So you can make it 1,000 if you want to, but doing that, your returns and your profits per investor will be smaller. If you do it too small and you trade with 100, then your obviously your profits will be larger, but the risk for yourself is a bit larger as well. So it's always best to set it more or less with what you're going to trade with. So I'm going to just say 100 allocation here. And again, this is very basic at the moment, but I'm going to improve the UI in time before I launch it. So now I've allocated as a trader 100 ETH that investors can invest in me, and this is a percentage-based thing, so nobody's invested in this thing yet. I'm going to do the same with DAI, so I've got 500 DAI. I'm just going to make it 50. Cool, so I've got 2 allocation sets. I'm going to switch to an investor, put my little investor cap on.
That's right.
Cool, now I'm an investor. Well, not yet. I need to join the platform first.
Put your investor wallet in your pocket. Is that how that works?
Exactly. So now I'm an investor. The only thing I can see is the dashboard. And again, this is really basic. I need to finish this. But before you start as an investor, you have to create your own personal multi-sig wallet for security. This is all done by the smart contract, and now you've got your own personal wallet. What you can do now is you can find traders. So there's one trader in the system. You can see their scores. You can see allocation, and you can decide to invest in them. So I'm going to invest 10 ETH in this trader. This is the transaction that puts 10 ETH in the multi-sig wallet. The other one just added the trader to the system, or
nice.
Against them. So now I can see there's a 10%. This is percentage based. I might change this. I don't know yet. So, but yeah, anyway, there's a 10% allocation. So there's still room for 90 ETH more if someone invests. If you want to invest more, so I can invest another 50 in here if I wanted to. Now I've got 2 investments with the same trader. You can do whatever you want to. I can even invest some DAI. So let's invest 30 DAI. Cool. So 60% allocated now. So only 40% available for other investors to invest. So it's important to note that how the profit works is obviously not the full allocation is used here. The trader will trade theoretically with all 100 ETH and all 50 DAI. So any profits will be proportionally split to the investors based on their investment against the 100 ETH or the 50 DAI. So you don't get the full, as an investor, you don't get the full profit of this.
You get the percentage of the pie that you
exactly.
Pick up.
In the case of this investor, he'll get 25% of the profit, and then 30% of that, because that's how the profit split works between the trader and investor. And again, this is the first version where the investor invests not directly in the trader, but in a collateral storage kind of thing. So it's a really safe way. There's no way it can be exit scams, for example, because the trader can't run away with the money. But in a later version of this, where the trading or the rating system is more robust, I think I might allow people to actually invest their tokens directly into the trader so that they can actually trade with the investment. Then the profit split will probably switch around. So the trader will earn less of the profit, and the investor will earn the larger chunk of it because they've actually given their money to the trader. Obviously, there's risks associated because then the trader could exit scam the investor. We'll see. For now, I'm going for safety first at the moment.
That's a good
For
call.
the first version. Okay, so anyway, so I've just invested 3 times. So you can see the 3 investments here. And what you'll see here is based on my trading dummy data, I've got some values here for the 3 different investments. So for the first 2, 10 and 15 being on ETH, sum of all the trades for that time was a positive sum. So you made a profit. But obviously, the gross profit is not the net profit for the investor, because the gross profit is 70% or 100%, and the net profit is a 30% of that again. But, and this is a bit different, for any losses made, and in this dummy data case, the loss was about 6.5 DAI. But and I still haven't completely made up my mind, but I think it makes sense that the trader gets to keep the complete loss or recoup the complete loss. So that's the risk the investor takes. Obviously, if your entire investment is negative, so you've just lost, the current value is 23.5, so you started with 30, then you might decide to close it out. So I'm going to go and say, well, actually, no, I want to stop this thing. You can confirm that you want to stop it. So it's a two-step thing for the trader or the investor to do, and that's because you want to put a timestamp on the investment so that you can definitely calculate the value based on the trades on the DYDX API. So now I'm ready to disburse, and it's again a two-step thing, and you'll see why. So now it's saying it's waiting for approval. So I need to switch back to the trader.
Change hands again.
So it's because the trading isn't happening on the blockchain. It's happening off the blockchain. It's happening off chain.
Right.
You need to prevent that people can use or just submit a disbursement for a certain value on an investment. So there needs to be some agreement on the value. Now, obviously, the platform will calculate the same value. So if someone, if the investor chooses to disburse with the value calculated by the platform, there's going to be no issues because it's going to be the same value. And this is what the trader can now see. You can see, well, this investor, he's got 3 investments here, all by the same investor. This one wants to have a disbursement. I can see the value is the same. There's no issues with it. So I'm going to approve it.
Nice.
And at this stage, what happens is this value or the difference in this value will be paid. So the 6.5 will be paid to the trader, and 23.4 will be paid back to the investor. So the smart contract takes care of that. So you don't have to go and withdraw your funds or anything. It'll withdraw it automatically for you. But let's say this trader is going to go on holiday for a couple of years, or he's taking a massive sabbatical, and he goes, well, I don't actually want to do trades anymore, and I just want to close these down. He can also stop it from his side or request it to be stopped. In this case, the investor made some money, 0.4 ETH. So the trader goes on a long sabbatical. He's going to go, well, I want to stop it. And right now that's stopped. The investment is inactive. It will not accrue any more value or make any more losses. That's it. And you can choose to disburse it as well. Same process. And now it's waiting for the approval from the investor side. So from both sides, you can request to have the investment disbursed. But the other side always has to approve. In case they don't approve, the platform administrator can also always step in to force an approval.
Gotcha.
As a kind of
sense.
Otherwise, the money will just sit there. So this is the investor dashboard. You can see your wallet again. and someone's asked for the trader has asked for disbursement, you're going to get 15.5 back in your wallet, and he gets a tiny percentage or that profit, basically the difference, and that's it. So that's that's the thing at the moment. Obviously, if you're another trader or another investor, let's say this investor, you can join again. You can make. I mean, but yeah, I just wanted to show give you a quick rundown of what the system looks like right now. It's still very basic. There's still a lot of work on the UI I need to do to make it more intuitive and give more information. And one of the big things is having a kind of a timeline on the progress of your investment. So you can see day by day what the progress is, and not just a single figure. That helps a lot. So there's a bit more work, but it's fully functional at the moment, and I might launch it in the next couple of days.
Awesome.
If I manage to do all the testing, then, because I'm at this stage doing a lot of work on unit testing and just testing this thing. I was working with tokens and actual people's tokens. You want to be kind of sure that there's no issues with it, and that's another point that I quickly want to raise is this multi-sig wallet. And I did a bit of research into multi-sig wallets, and for the people who don't know, multi-sig wallet is basically just a wallet that requires more than one approval of any transaction. And there's a lot of ways this can be done. So Gnosis or Gnosis, I don't know how to pronounce it, they've got this runtime wallet kind of thing that you can use. Really good thing is really generic. And it would have been the cheaper option, taking less gas, for example, but it does pose a risk in that if someone managed to destroy their wallets, because it's not out of my control, it's out of this platform's control, then all my customers, all my clients would lose their money. It's completely out of my control. And also having a library there's a couple of they've got some open source libraries that's also generic, and it kind of allows you to inject any encoded transaction into the wallet that can execute against any other contract.
Right.
Really useful, really flexible, but it's a security hole. So I chose to make my multi-sig wallet extremely closed down and only for this purpose. It's not generic at all. And that's kind of the trade-off. It's a bit more expensive to create. It's like 0.04 ETH or something to create it, but it's a one-time thing for an investor. And you can add as many traders as you want to your multi-sig wallet and as many investments, but it's then their own personal wallet.
Yeah, man. Well, this is really impressive. Again, I'm impressed by everything that you've brought to life here. You mentioned that you want to get a little more work done on the UI to kind of make this thing production ready, all that kind of stuff. But I think what you've done is awesome. You mentioned that you want to get some of that done here pretty soon. You're pretty eager to launch. So if anybody's watching this video and wants to go check their project out, can they just go to DecentraVest.com? How do they get started?
Yeah, they can just go to DecentraVest.com. There's a link to the portal, and right now they can register as a trader. And they will basically see this screen right here, show them their trades and everything else. This will also improve over time. And like I said, once I've done the final checks on this thing and maybe a bit more work on the UI, I'm going to launch it out also for investors, and then investors can start joining.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So if they have any questions about the platform or anything like that, is there a way they can reach out to you or somebody else, on the site?
So I've got a Twitter and a Telegram link here on the bottom of the thing. But people are welcome to email me as well. My personal email, superkruger@gmail.com.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't,
put
I
a link
don't,
to
I
that
don't
down in the video description.
I think projects like these needs a face. I mean, you can't have these kind of investment schemes where it's completely faceless and anonymous. We need to move past all these scams, and
Right.
I hope we can, as a community, drive towards something that's more long term viable.
Yeah, totally. I think this is great. And I think that's one of the big benefits of this project for sure is the transparency that it provides, especially when you get those contracts, published and everybody can see how it works and they know exactly what's going to happen whenever they use the product.
And a good thing with DYDX, I might choose to do other. There's a couple of other decentralized trading platforms. You can write software that does the trades automatically for you, and that will all be reflected in you as a trader on your trading wallet, because it's just wallet based. So you can hook this up to an automatic trading system if you wanted to. And if your trading wallet and your trading algorithm is smart enough and good enough to do trades really well, yeah, good for your investors, and it doesn't take a lot. So it doesn't take a lot of constant attention, at least.
Yeah, totally, man. That's awesome.
Future proof in that regard as well. I mean, you can choose to trade manually or through a bot or whatever. It's your choice as a trader.
Yeah. So you got any quants out there that want to earn some extra money? Here's how you do it. Yeah, Jocko, I'm so excited that you come on the channel today and show us this project. Again, I'm really impressed with everything that you've done here. Like you said, you got some prior experience before jumping into this project, but you didn't have really any blockchain experience before you kind of got involved in this. And that's one of the things that I keep just hammering over and over again to people is that, there's so much that you can do and no one's saying no one's stopping you,
Exactly.
Just about putting in the time, getting the right skills. And yeah, you mentioned you didn't think people even needed the level of experience that you had in order to pull something like this off. I think that's awesome.
You don't need years of experience. I think if you've got a good analytical mind and you can dedicate a bit of time and you've got some perseverance, you can build anything you want to. And the future belongs to those people who want to build things, I think.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, everybody go check out DecentraVest. By the time this video makes it out there, if Jocko's able to turn this around in a couple days, it should be live. I'll put a link down in the description below. I'll put Jocko's email down there. You can contact him on Telegram, Twitter with the links on the site. But thanks again, Jocko. Everybody, smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel. And, if you want to get your hands dirty and follow in Jocko's footsteps, you can check out any of the free tutorials of my YouTube homepage. They're like Udemy courses, but they're free. But, if you also want to do the boot camp, just like Jocko did, take a massive shortcut or, take the next step, then I can show you how to master blockchain step-by-step over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.